What's going on, guys? It's your boy Cash, and we are here today to talk about Back 4 Blood. Now, as you guys know, I am still doing a playthrough of the game, but I feel like since I'm not really paying attention to the story anyway, I think I can at least review the game gameplay perspective wise, because honestly I'm not really paying attention to the story. I'm just kind of playing it and trying to get to, you know, the higher ranks and stuff like that. So there's some good and the bad. I really want to go over it before it takes too long. So there's people keep asking me about the game over and over and over again. What do you think about this? How does this work? And all this other stuff. So I thought if I just drop my review on the game, and it will make things make more sense for those watching the playthrough. Also, it'll allow people to understand why we are complaining in some parts of the playthrough and why we're expressing certain things that we like. So without further ado, there won't be any no spoiler or non-spoiler, because I can't spoil anything. I don't know. I don't know, and I don't care to know. I'm sorry. So first up is I'm going to talk about the good of the game, and I think that that's the best place to start, so at least people can get a grasp of if they just want to get it. This is what's good about it. First of all, it's a co-op game, and now you can obviously play with a group of friends, or you can actually queue up by yourself, which is like a solo, or you can actually queue up in a quick play and then play with people. You can actually separate it if you want it to be cross-play or not, which is good. It's one of the best things about this game, is that it is cross-play. So you can actually play with people on the PC, the Xbox. It does tell you specifically when you're playing with someone else, which I don't really think it matters, unless there's like an issue with a certain person being a host. It might make the game laggier. There is lag in the game, by the way. Yeah, there's definitely some of that. But I think that's one of the best things about this game. And of course, most people, the consumer, would love that most games are cross-play. One of the issues that I have with Nickelodeon All-Stars is that the game is not cross-play. So everyone got it on PC, I got it on PS5, and I have a terrible time trying to get matches. And it just sucks. It's not consumer friendly. It's all about buy our games because we have better exclusives and stuff like that. But when it's a game that's on all platforms, I think that it should always be cross-play involved in some way, shape, or form. And it just sucks that, you know, most games don't have it. But Back 4 Blood does support it, so it doesn't matter which platform you got. So if your friend decided that he wanted to play Halo and he didn't want to play all the better games on PlayStation, yeah, I still don't get what's up with the Xbox exclusives. But at least if they have that, or if they said PC Master Race and you all got the same game, you could all play together, which I think is amazing. And like I said, I think more games should do it. It is the classic zombie horde thing that, you know, we've come to know and love. It's from the makers of Left 4 Dead, which is Turtle Rock Studios. Turtle Rock Studios actually made my favorite game of all time, which is Evolve. I still put it up there high tier. Most people, I don't know, I love Evolve. That was, I probably would still be playing Evolve if they kept making updates for it, to be completely honest with you. They do have a deck card system, which is going to be a good and a bad, I'd have to say. And let me go into the game. A lot of the stuff I want to show is kind of be in the game, because I think that that's where you really hate or love the game. So there is a card system in the game, and I don't think that there's any way you can purchase it. So no like microtransactions, stuff like that. But there are certain cards that you either have or don't have. And then when you're playing through the game, it makes it either harder or easier. Now, I've seen people play in the game and they're like one-shotting the mutants, and I'm like, yo, what is that? What build are they doing? And it kind of is the luck of the draw. So let me just show you guys what I'm talking about. So in the game, you actually can make 3 separate decks. For a solo, like I said, when you're playing by yourself. Campaign is the map when you're going to be playing with other people. And then of course, then there's going to be Swarm when you're playing the Swarm. Swarm is the PvP. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But let's just go into a campaign deck. Now, when you first start off, you can make these decks or whatever like that. So I have a deck I just made. It's called DPS. This one is about like carrying a bunch of grenades, and you're gonna get these cards as you progress through the. Not actually you progress, and that's kind of the good and bad of it. Is that when you make a deck, let me just create one or go into this one, right? So as you can see, the first thing I have is grenade pouch, then I have offensive scavenger, then I put fanny pack. Now the cards that you get come into the order that you put them in. So whatever I think is the most important out of this build is what I'm going to get. So let's say if I wanted to do a melee build, I should have biggie sized this. I should have, let's see, something that's melee. Well, it goes weak point or reload. I think, see, look, you see this is reload, 20% reload, then 30% reload. And then there's more stuff that I can probably give me more reload. Let's say I want to just do that reload build or bullet damage. As you can see, there's some bullet damage stuff. You can actually filter stuff out. So like you can really, and look, team effects, something that affects the team. Maybe if you want to make a pure support build, everything you do affects the team. You could do that, which I think is awesome. I think that this is pretty cool. It allows you to pretty much put in a spice some spice into your thing. And then let's say, especially playing in a group of people, it's like, yo, I'm gonna go support, yo, you go pure DPS, I'll keep you healed up because I'm gonna have like 16 heal med kits or something like that, and you can kind of do something similar to that. And I think that that's cool. Playing with randoms is going to be a little bit more annoying because you don't know what when you pop into the match, you don't know what they are doing or what build they're going into, especially on the more harder difficulties. Well, specifically if you're playing on the more harder difficulties, I think you should just pick a build that's really strong, like something that's just blatantly strong no matter what you're doing. So that's what's cool, right? So what I don't like about it is that they come in something called supply line. So you can see here I got 3 options. Once you finish out an option, another one pops up, and then you're going to keep doing that over and over and over again until you get the card that you want. Now I'm going to go into the one that I've been trying to get, which is Paul's Alley. So this is where I got double grenade pouch, and then it has you know, some other cosmetic kind of stuff. Then I got 2 more cards here, nice. And then I got another card, and then another cosmetic, then another card, which is a really good one. You can equip a primary weapon in your secondary slot. You lose some swap speed, and then last but not least, a skin. Usually a skin is last. It's either going to be on a gun or on a person. Now this is pretty cool. I do like this system. And then again, I hate it because in order to do this, you need the supply points, which you can see in the left is what it says. This one costs 100, this one costs 70, and then you're gonna upper right is how many I have left. I have 3. Now you get this by literally playing the game, which you can't be too mad about that. You just play the game and you're gonna get it. You do have to complete, if you're playing on campaign mode, you have to actually complete a mission. And if you complete the missions, then you're gonna get it based on your performance, based on the difficulty, stuff like that. Now if you fail, you don't get any, which I don't like that. And then you can also, you're not actually stuck to play, you can play Swarm, which like I said is the PvP mode, but I found that the matchmaking in that has been a little bit weird. I'll try to matchmake and then I can't get into a match, so it's kind of losing points for that. Like I just want to get points, because when you get points, you're going to get the cards, you get the cards, pretty much you do the supply lines and you get everything. So I think that I just wanted to explain how the decks work, but it's cool. Like it's like I'm here and there, because as you can see, the supply lines are random. So Paul's Alley, those cards that you just saw, you know, let's say if I wanted to do a pure melee build, if I don't get something that benefits melee, I kind of just have to buy all these, wait until it resets, and then once it resets, I gotta hope that thing that it resets gets me what I want. And as you can see, the pricing of these are relatively the same on each one. So like I've been looking for more offensive stuff, like grenades. I want to carry a bunch of grenades. I want to be able to upgrade them, make sure they do damage, or do something that deals with weak points. But I haven't gotten too many of those, so my deck is pretty much based on what I have. So it's like, kind of like a little gripe there for me personally. I do like the cleaners. Each cleaner has their own like specific like reason why you're picking them. It's honestly unfortunate that you can't just pick a character like dressed that way, like Doc, and then like actually be like, oh, I want them to do this. Like, see how you can see Doc can heal each teammate for 25 health once per level. She has high heal efficiency. She has trauma resistance. Then you have someone like Jim, who is, that's not Jim. It always sets me back here. Jesus. Jim, who's mostly based about damage. Precision kills, which are like headshot kills. He gets a stacking damage until he takes damage. So he can actually, he's one of your strongest main DPSs. That's why he actually starts off kind of with a sniper rifle, literally, so he can just kill from a distance and possibly get this really high stacking damage, and then pretty much one shot the big baddies. And that's kind of what you're using him for. And I'll do one more, and that's Evangelo, where he actually has he can break out of grapples, which is one of the most annoying things in this game. And he gives everyone team movement speed. All of them have like a team effect and then one's personal effect for himself. So I think that aspect was pretty cool. I really liked it. Each character is unique, pretty much fits into the game, and I think that's one of the things they kind of knocked out of the park. I would love to see them add more cleaners as DLC possibly, so you can kind of like do a little bit something different. But it's mostly based on the deck. Like Holly is like one of the melee characters, but at the same time you can really melee with anyone if you have the right card and setup for it. One of the gripes that I'm gonna have to bring up is the campaign and how the campaign works. Now, as you can see here, I can create a run, or I can continue a run. My run that I am continuing would be this one, Act 2, Trailer Trash. If you guys have been keeping up with the playthrough that I have, I'll link it. You'll see it on the upper right-hand corner, whatever. But the problem is that I hated that. So as you can see, there's 3 difficulties: Recruit, Veteran, and Nightmare, right? I don't know, like, I don't know, I messed up. I put my thumb out there. Don't count the thumb. All right, so you can see here, so on Recruit is the farthest that we've been. I've been to Act 1. If I see select point in Act 2, you can see like a lot of these things are locked, right? And then if I go to Act 1 and then select a starting point, I have everything unlocked, which is fantastic. But if I were to go to veteran, which I never got to act 2 on veteran, you can see now that it's locked. I kind of don't like this, is because the reason is, like, if I'm just trying to go and play, let's say I was on act 1 and I think that I really want to see how difficult this last part or whatever is on veteran or nightmare, I have to literally beat all these other parts on that mode in order to unlock it. It's just, to me, it just doesn't feel right. It just feels like it's a unusual difficulty thing, that because if I just want to play act 4, and then like with my all mega boosted up cards, I want to just play that on veteran. I love act 4, I just want to play it on veteran, see how it plays, or nightmare. I have to literally play all these other stages on that difficulty. I think that that is a huge oversight in my opinion, and something that I really think that they should just fix. I also have to give another slash to, like, there really isn't that many weapons I feel in the game, but then again, I don't want to give too much about that because it is a survival based game. Like, they're in like an apocalypse. Like, you know, why don't you have 6,000 shotguns? It's because they're doing with the best that they can. I do think that they could possibly add a little bit more, or maybe like these are more realistic to what guns are around nowadays, so it's like based on that. But you know, I'm always looking forward to more wacky stuff, especially because this is not a game with superpowers or anything like that. So I would have liked to see a little bit more variety, at least especially with the melee weapons. I think that they could have had a little bit more fun by adding in some weird wonky like swords and possibly brass knuckles or something like that, and maybe give it that it has a, you know, something to it, like, or the legendary items. You know, that would have been cool to see, like some legendary stuff like that. What other thing can I complain about? I think that that's most of the things that I really like nick the game on. Now, as far as actually when you're in a match, I think that that's one of the things that kind of drive me nuts, is a lot of things grapple you and you can't break out of grapples yourself. The only person that can do it is Evangelo. He's able to do it, but there is a card that allows you to do that. So if you're lucky enough to get that card and you want to put in your deck that you can break out of grapples by yourself, that's cool. You can also do it with a item called the stun gun, but it doesn't give you too many uses out of it, and you can literally be locked up like every 2 seconds. Like, it's insane if you just get overwhelmed by monsters that do that. I think that they need to kind of fix that a little bit, in my personal opinion. It's a little bit annoying, especially when you're getting swarmed or you just walked into somewhere, something locks you up. And I guess you could say it's possibly because you need to be with a full team, but you don't always have a full team. Sometimes you're playing with 2 people or 3 people, you know, and they're off doing something else. They walked a little bit too forward and then you get grappled and then you just end up dying. And again, like I said, you could just say, hey, play better, stupid. But I feel like they should maybe tone it down a little bit, or maybe make it that you can mash out of grapples. I think that that would have been a huge game changer, to be able to mash out of grapples. Every character can do it. Maybe some characters can get out of quicker, and maybe you can have something that's instantaneous. And I wouldn't even mind if certain things grapple you, you have like a 1 or 2 second window to get out of it, or you die. And I would have been fine with that, but at least it would have been like a mashable or something. I don't know. It just drives me insane when you play on veteran and like something can spit something from a distance and you get locked up. And then someone else gets locked up because there's something grapples them, and then like all of a sudden you just kind of die because of 2 lockups. It just kind of seems a little bit annoying, like a little bit too much CC for how much they can throw at you, especially on the higher difficulties. Now, when it comes down to, like I said, inside of the match, I feel like they also have something where, like, the swarm, and I call it, like, well, the swarm, they can swarm you and stuff like that, which is fine. But there's times when you're just absolutely doing nothing. You like just cleared a big swarm, you're just walking around checking your HP, your ammo, and they still send enemies at you. Now, I wouldn't mind if they were little scrappy guys, but sometimes they send the mutations at you, and I find that that was also very annoying as well. And I don't mind it, but like, it means yes, you have to keep your ears out, you have to keep listening, you got to make sure that you're always aware. And you know, it also forces you to progress the mission and not sit around. But you really can't farm materials in that game. So like, it's not like each ridden that you kill gets you supplies, which at that point I would understand if they swarmed you more often, so you have to finish the mission or you'll end up dying. There are some parts, like especially near the end of a mission, where they will do that. You have to rush and get into the safe room, or else you're going to end up dying because they're just going to keep sending waves of enemies at you. You can try to do that. Some people do that, let that happen on purpose for healing. Let's say if you have the card that lets you heal off melee, they'll let you do that. But yo, so let the horde come in, we'll kill them, we'll heal up, and then we'll proceed to the next mission. Another thing that is the mission system, the way that those things actually work, those starting points that I showed you. That is another weird spot that I think it was, because if you can beat the first part and you lose on the second part, you don't get that next checkpoint for the third part let's say, and you kind of end up in a weird predicament where you can be doing the same mission over and over and over again, but because you couldn't beat that one stage, that one little stage, you literally just keep going back. And especially because if you're playing like quick play, like a lot of the times I don't want to play with the same people and like beat the entire game with them. I'm probably just doing that for like, I'm probably going to play, you know, play a little bit. So that person may have had a full 4 of randoms, and then now he's down to 3, and then now he can't beat the next stage, or he's down to 2, or he just, everyone left because they only wanted to do that one stage because everyone dies in the next stage. So there's no purpose of wasting time. There's a lot of little weird stuff. I think that they should have made it that you couldn't go into each individual mission. This is the same thing that they actually did in Aliens. I think Aliens did it, handle it a little bit better, where you just play that one mission. Now the mission is longer. These I'm about to say Left 4 Dead. These Back 4 Blood missions are technically short. I think you can actually, if you know everything that's going on, you could probably do each one in about 10 minutes, if not less than that, if you really just run and gun, because most of them are not like you have to kill a certain amount of enemies. It's usually you have to go here, drop something off, or you have to open this up, and while it's being opened, you're gonna get a bunch of hordes gonna come, so you can really run and gun a lot of this stuff. But I do think that I would prefer that you can just go into each mission individually, queue up, and do something of that nature. But sometimes even that is a little bit iffy. And I did also mention that the game is a little laggy sometimes. Sometimes the monsters are moving and grooving a little bit too much. They're like flowing past you. They're manifesting randomly in front of your face. There's a little bit of the game is not perfect. That's why I kind of wanted to do the review, because a lot of people are seeing it, or they'll see, like, depending on who you're watching, you'll see them do something really cool. Like I said, like one shot a big guy or a tall boy, or, you know, a Reeker or something like that. And you're like, yo, that's crazy. Look how much damage he's doing. Not realizing how many cards how much he had to play to probably get to that build to make it to do exactly that, or to like swing on a big thing with a bat and kill it in like 3 to 4 hits. That's a lot of work, a lot of supply lines, which means a lot of successful missions, and then eventually you get to that cool point where you're having a character. Like, I feel like I still don't have a build, quote unquote. I'm still trying to get cards so I can at least do that, so I can have more fun. But the more I get, the funner. Yes, I know someone's like, you did not say fun. Yes, the more funner. Oh, that's even worse. The more fun the game gets once you get more cards and you're able to kind of like do a build. Like, oh, I have this build where I'm, like I said, I'm the grenadier, or I'm the support, I'm the healer. I have a bunch of stuff that heals you guys, or I give you guys damage. One of my favorite ones is when someone gets incapacitated, they heal everybody. Everyone starts to get healed. I saw some people killing a bot over and over again because the bots, you know, doesn't matter. You kill the bot over and over again near the end of the mission because everyone would get free healing out of it. I was like, oh, that's pretty smart. You know, like little weird stuff that you can utilize and utilize to make the mission easier for yourself. The corruption cards, yeah. Those are so random. I think I don't know. I heard that you can turn them off, but like it's kind of annoying. One match, or like I said, you can die and you keep trying to beat this mission, and all of a sudden you get this crazy thing. The what is it? Not the hag. The sirens, or the snitches. They always alert a horde. It's foggy, so you can't see, and there's armor. Like you can get a smorgasbord of nonsense, and then you just end up losing. And it's like, it kind of feels a little unfair. It kind of feels, you feel like you get shafted a little bit with the corruption. I wish you could just turn that off. I think Alien system was good, is that you can actually purposely turn some of that stuff on, and you get more EXP or more money for making the game significantly harder. I think that they could have took that same route here, because you don't get any bonuses for the nonsense that you draw up. And I get it's to make it seem as realistic. You know, you know, what if you in the real world, in the game world of Back 4 Blood, what if you did go out there and all of a sudden, you know, there are armored enemies or something like that? You just have to deal with it. So I do get that, like, you know, you roll with the punches. But from a game's perspective, it just kind of becomes very annoying. YFOs in the comment section below, let me know how you feel about Back 4 Blood. If you guys want to see more gameplay, I usually leave the gameplay out. I have gameplay of this, so you can just watch my playlist if you want to see how it's pretty fun. We're having fun. We're making a bunch of jokes. It's really funny. You guys should definitely check out our playlist on this. And I'm gonna keep playing it. And like I said, I just don't care about the story. I just wanted to tell you guys how I feel about the game. Did I leave anything out? Did I make something seem more annoying than it was? And maybe, or did I bring light? Did I do it correctly? Let me know. And also, of course, guys, let me know any other games you guys want me to review. And if it's something I don't have gameplay of, let me know who I should watch the gameplay of, so I can get the best experience. And that's M.F.O. Now you know. Like, comment, subscribe, and just remember that every day the cash emails you up your day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.